You've probably heard of rebrands that have been cash burns. Stories like those of Tropicana, that they spent 35 million in rebranding and designing their packaging and putting it out into the world. Then the customers hated the new packaging and they refused to buy, and Tropicana lost an additional 30 million. That's a lot of money. And you can't imagine rebranding because what if it goes south? So the real question isn't, will a rebrand cost money? It's, how much is the current brand actually costing you? The reality is this: you are already spending every single day. You're just not tracking it. Bad brands don't send invoices. They quietly drain your potential. You have lost bids, you have slow sales, you have lower margins, you have the wrong kinds of clients coming on board, wrong kinds of employees coming on board, every inconsistent visual, outdated website, muddy message. All these are attacks on your growth, and a rebrand is not how you spend money, it's how you stop bleeding it. That is, if you do it properly. If you're new here, I'm Ben from Kenyan Grafik, and we help service businesses look as good as the work they deliver and get paid full price. This is episode 15 of the Rebrand Masterclass, and today we're talking about something that founders are very afraid of, but they really understand: the real cost of rebranding and the hidden cost of not doing it. So we're going to approach both. Let me introduce you first of all to a concept called the invisible tax of bad branding. The invisible tax of bad branding. It's the silent cost of being unclear. Generally, founders fear the big expenses. They calculate the design fees. How much will they charge us? What about for strategy? What about the rollout? How much time will it take? How much will it cost to get new banners and new signage or a new office? But rarely do they think about the slow leaks, because these are the things that actually kill momentum. Here's what the invisible tax looks like in real life. One, you're attracting the wrong leads. You get people who don't know what you do, they're bargaining on price, and they're just draining your energy. Two, your margins, pretty low. It's because your brand is not communicating your premium value or your actual value. So the clients assume you're mid-tier or even lower than that. Three, your sales cycle is slower. Your prospects are not understanding what you do, so you have to spend time re-explaining yourself. They just don't get it. Four, your best people, your best talent, they leave or they never apply. To them, your brand feels very small, and so talent will always follow brands that look like they're going somewhere and you don't look like it. None of this shows up in a spreadsheet, at least at a glance, but it compounds quietly year after year. So a rebrand is not indulgence, it's stewardship, and stewardship is protecting not just what you built, but also maintaining it. So why does this happen? Why do strong brands quietly lose momentum even when they know that something is not quite working as much? I think it's because they think of a brand as a facelift, not a system overhaul. Because see, when the system breaks down even slightly, the business starts to feel the friction. Think about it this way: branding is simply the method you use to send a signal to the market. And in saturated markets, which most of us are in, clarity is actually a competitive advantage. The market will reward people and brands and companies that are mentally available, meaning that I know you, I know what you do. If I say Apple, you know which company I'm talking about, which industry it's in. If I say purple, however, you don't know what that is about, but there actually is a mattress company called Purple, but in this Kenyan context, that doesn't resonate with you. So mentally available is, I know you are in that industry. So do they actually know that you are in that industry? Do they know? And two, credibility, that I also need to trust that you will get the job done, and therefore I will end up choosing you. I don't just know that you exist there, but I can actually trust you. When your signal is weak or it's mixed, people don't reject you. They hesitate, and that hesitation actually kills the deals. The outdated logo, the systems that look out of touch, people start wondering, are these guys that outdated? The inconsistency makes people wonder if you are that disorganized internally. That vague value proposition makes people unsure whether you're the right fit for them or not. None of these are very fatal on their own, but together they create friction at every touch point, and friction slows everything down. That's a scientific fact. Friction slows everything down. Branding is not self-expression. It's not you're doing it simply because you like yellow. No, it's objective communication. It's a signal that you're sending into the marketplace. When that signal is unclear, the market moves on to someone whose signal is stronger. So, how do you actually measure the return on investment on a rebrand? Let me give you a mental model. I call it the one-page ROI map. The one-page ROI map. It's not a literal document. It's not a formula that you plug numbers into and get answers back. It's a framework, the way you think about categories of return of investment, so that fear turns into strategy. Because when you understand where the value comes from, the decision gets easier. There are generally 5 core pillars of ROI, and I'll go through all of them with one bonus. Stay tuned. Number 6 will shock you. 1 is credibility ROI, that people get to trust you faster. Your brand determines whether we take you seriously before you say a word. A credible first impression can double your proposal conversion rate. Let's say you're converting 20% of your proposals right now. 20% is a pretty good conversion rate. A stronger brand can push that to 30% or even 40% without changing anything in the service, simply because the perception of safety has changed. If you send 10 proposals a month, each worth around 5 million, that's the difference between 10 million and 20 million a month. You change nothing. So that's not a design cost, it's a return on the trust. Because in every market, clients are not buying the best option, they are buying the option that looks safest to believe in. Clients don't buy the best option, they buy the option that looks safest to believe in. Number 2 is conversion ROI. You sell without repeating yourself. If you have a clear brand story, you are reducing friction. The prospects instantly get what you do. They stop asking, could you explain what you do again? Or how soon can we start? Or what do you actually do? Or how do you act this out? No, they're simply asking, how soon can we start? That shift can cut your sales cycle in half, from 90 days to 45 days. Faster close times means faster cash flow, faster momentum, and you have less emotional fatigue in the team. So the confusion will delay the deals, but clarity will accelerate them. You don't want that confusion. The acceleration will actually compound in the long run. So in that, the faster you close, the more chances you have to get the next opportunity. Okay. Number 3 is pricing ROI, where you actually charge what you are worth. Strong brands don't just charge more, they deserve more. Even a modest 10 or 20% lift in perceived value can translate directly into profit. So if your firm makes 3 million a month in profit, a 20% perception lift will add another 600,000, and that comes to around 7.2 million a year without you changing anything in your service offering. That's what looking the part really does. Price follows perception. Perception follows presentation. When they both align, profit will follow naturally. This is not about tricking people, however. It's about making sure the outside matches what is on the inside, so clients can see the value that has already been built. Otherwise, you'll be selling Land Cruiser services for the price of a Vitz, and then you're complaining that the business sucks. You're just presenting yourself like a Vitz. Let me also mention explicitly that charging a Land Cruiser price for a Vitz service is theft and extortion. That is the misuse of the power of branding, and we don't take part in such criminal and sinful activities. Charge the actual value of what you deliver. Okay. Number 4 is recruitment ROI, in that you attract better people. A strong brand doesn't just attract clients, it also attracts culture carriers, When Jim Collins says the people on the bus, a good brand will actually attract the right people onto the bus. You see, top Performers want to work with companies that look and sound like they belong at the level that they aspire to. And of course, it will look good on their CVs. If you say, hey, I was head of marketing at Safaricom, it's a pretty big deal. So when your brand exudes clarity and purpose, you spend less time convincing, managing, or replacing talent. You get people who self-select for excellence. It's not branding fluff, it's operational savings. Going a step further, every great hire secured by clarity compounds over time. This means in productivity, in culture, in the quality of work that is leaving a company, and actually the people that they attract. A players attract A players. And in markets that talent is very competitive, your brand is actually a competitive edge. And number 5 is efficiency ROI, where you have a system and not chaos. Inconsistency is very, very expensive. When each department is using its own templates, their own tone, their own slides, you are burning precious work hours reformatting instead of creating. If you have a unified brand system, you are saving both sanity and salary, because the opposite of consistency is not creativity, it's chaos, and chaos will cost you all the time. Every time someone is sitting down to redo what has been standardized, you are paying the invisible tax, because you are wasting precious work hours preparing documents rather than obtaining insights or delivering value. If you have a strong brand, this gives your team a system that they can trust, so they can focus on the execution, not guesswork or tinkering with templates. No. Okay. So those are the main 5. But there's an ROI category that most people miss. It doesn't show up in the balance sheet, really. It shows up in what your team does. I call it the emotional ROI. And it's real. For the founders, it's the removal of embarrassment when you send outdated materials. It eliminates the fatigue of explaining yourself and explaining your value in every page. Sometimes you sound like you're begging. It makes the leadership communication very easy, because your brand is doing the heavy lifting for you. Well, pretty much half of it. You stop feeling like you're constantly defending your worth. You start feeling that your worth is self-evident. For the managers and executives, a strong brand will actually safeguard their role. It makes their work more effective and more respected. It gives them something to steward, not just campaigns to run and chasing tails left, right, and center. No, it sets them up to leave a legacy, not just collecting metrics. And for the rest of the team, a strong brand actually creates pride. Pride in what they're part of, pride in what they're building, pride in how they represent the company and what they're presenting when they show up in client meetings. That pride translates to motivation, and motivation translates to performance. This is the ROI that you feel before you can measure. It's what keeps people around, even when the competitors are actually offering them more money, because they're not just working for paychecks, but you need to be paying them well. They're not just paying for paychecks, they're actually working for meaning too. And a strong brand gives them something meaningful to represent. Now let's talk about the thing that most founders miss when they're calculating the rebranding ROI. It's not what you spend, it's about what you lose by waiting. Most companies don't suffer because they rebranded. In fact, they suffer because they rebranded too late. It's the opportunity cost, and it's invisible. It hides in the slow months, the small deals, the mediocre leads, the lost momentum. It's the client who chose your competitor because they just felt more established. It's the top tier talent that didn't apply to your company because you looked like you are still finding your footing. It's the premium project that you didn't even get invited to pitch for because your brand didn't look like it belonged to the room. You can't see opportunity cost on a P&L. You can't, but it's silently there, compounding quietly, month after month. A rebrand doesn't create new value. It reveals the value that you already built and makes sure that the market can see it too clearly. Clarity pays for itself. Confusion charges an interest. Every month you delay clarity, you are paying that interest. Every month you're strengthening the clarity, you are earning compound trust. So the question isn't whether rebranding costs money or not. The question is, how much is waiting costing you now? I know some of you are thinking, Ben, this sounds so good, but what if... Okay, let me address a few objections very quickly. What if we lose clients? We have covered this in the previous episode. The short answer, clients don't leave because you changed. They leave because they were not included in the change. So invite them in and they will work with you in the next stage of growth. What if the team resists? That's a separate episode too, and we're going to be doing that. But here's the principle already. People resist change when they don't understand. When your team understands the why, the resistance turns into ownership. They own the change. They can even see that it's gonna bring more money to the company and more money to me. But Ben, what if it doesn't change anything? If you rebrand without strategy, you just get new colors and a new logo, you probably won't get any change. But if you rebrand with clarity, with positioning, with purpose, the market will respond. That is what the ROI map is there for. What if, Ben, I pick the wrong branding partner? It's also coming in a future episode. We're going to discuss how to choose the right branding partner for yourself. The short version, vet the strategy first and the design second. If they can't articulate your positioning, they can't build your brand. They're just going to give you things that look nice but don't move the needle. So each of these deserve their own conversation and we'll get there. For now, just know the fears are valid, but they're also manageable. Nothing in life is without risk, after all. But before you rebrand, clarify 3 things. These are not complex things. They are surely not complex things. They are grounding questions that will turn fear into focus. Question number 1, about purpose. What problem is this rebrand facing? Not we need a new logo, but are we attracting the wrong clients? Are we underpriced? Are we invisible in the market? Are we confusing people? When you know the problem, you can measure whether the rebrand actually changed stuff in the company or not. If there is no problem, do not rebrand. Number 2 is the payback period. How long until we notice impact? Rebrands don't pay off overnight, but they also don't take years. Most well-executed rebrands show measurable impact within, let's say, 6 to 18 months. Within there, you get faster close rates, higher conversions, better talent, clearer positioning. Just set realistic expectations, then track them. Number 3, proof metrics. How will you actually measure the success? Again, building from number 2. Pick 2 or 3 metrics that matter to your business. The typical ones are the proposal win rate, the average deal size, the speeds in closing, the client record. Do they actually describe you clearly when they are talking about you? Or the referral rate. When you know what you're measuring, the uncertainty will fade because you're no longer guessing, you are testing every single time. If you need a simple test to see how your brand is doing in the here and now, we have the C4 brand quiz. It's a free 10-minute quiz that will show you what the brand is strong or not strong in. You might not need a rebrand. You might just need to tweak a few things here and there. You can find it on the description of the podcast or in the bio or on our website. Anywhere we are really, you will find it there. It's free, but it's only going to be relevant for you if you actually apply the things you learn there. So back to topic. Rebranding isn't about burning money. It's about redirecting money from waste to wisdom. Every day you delay clarity, you are paying an invisible tax. Every day you strengthen it, you are earning compound trust. A rebrand is not changing who you are. It's about making sure the world sees what you've already built. You've built something valuable. Protecting it with clarity is not wasteful. It's wise. A strong brand is not meant to stroke or inflate your ego. It's to safeguard your legacy. So if you've been waiting for the right time to invest in your brand, this might be it. I would love it if you did the rebrand with us. We are pretty good at it. But if not, go and find a suitable partner to rebrand your company. It's not because design has magical power, it's because clarity actually has power, and clarity coupled with the conviction in your heart is one of the most profitable forces in business. Next time, we are going to be talking about how to protect your brand when you are rebranding. There's many things to think about, like the domains, having a name that is acceptable, the registrations and things like those. We are going to go through all those things. And yep, see you in the next.